beloveds, for those watching online and joining us online later. Whether you're here in person or watching online later, I want you to know how very enfolded you are in the love and the light of Spirit. And today's message, I actually started preparing and got written earlier in the week because it was sparked by something our board president, Deborah, said in a recent board meeting. So thank you, Deborah. And I had no idea it would be so timely. I actually had a little bit of a crash and burn this week before the events that happened. It was almost like I was feeling that something was going to happen. I really was hit a wall, not with my fists, but with my emotions. And so today, we're spending time with the first verse of the hymn, "It is Well with My Soul." And that is written by Horatio Spafford. And it's a hymn that was born out of unimaginable loss, and yet it carries, my goodness, such spiritual courage that feels especially relevant for us this year. And I cannot believe how timely it is for us today. Spirit speaks to all of us, and when we listen, amazing things happen. So we're going to look at the story behind this hymn, and we're going to bring in some unity insight, weave in a little Julian of Norwich, and even touch on a current movie. And my hope is that by the end, you'll feel steadied, strengthened, and able to affirm that all, regardless of what is going on, is well with your soul. Now, before we look at the words of the hymn, it helps to know the heart of the person who wrote them, because the power of this song isn't just in the melody, it's in the life behind it. Horatio Spafford was born in New York in 1828, and he became a prominent lawyer and real estate investor in Chicago. And he married Anna Larson, who was originally from Norway, and together they built a life that was rooted in faith and hospitality and generosity. And they were the kind of people who opened their home, showed up for others, and lived their values. They were involved in their community, in their church, but life as we know it does not always show up in the script that we imagine. It doesn't always follow that script. In 1871, the Great Chicago Fire destroyed much of the city and nearly every investment that Horatio had. And 2 years later, still carrying the weight of that loss, the family decided to travel to England for rest and renewal. And at the last minute, some business forced Horatio to stay behind. And so he sent Anna, his wife, and their 4 daughters ahead on a steamship. And then tragedy struck. Their ship collided with another in the Atlantic, and it sank, and all 4 daughters died. And Anna, the wife, was the only one to survive, not of the entire ship, but of the family. And when she got to Cardiff, Wales, she sent Horatio a telegram with 2 devastating words: "Saved alone." And Horatio immediately boarded a steamship to join her. And during the journey, the captain pointed out the approximate place where the ship carrying his daughters had gone down. Imagine that moment. He's looking out and he's seeing the approximate spot. The grief, the disbelief, we can probably imagine it right now today, because we've got a lot in our own hearts. But there, in that place of heartbreak, Horatio wrote the opening lines of "It is Well with My Soul." "When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul." These were the words of a man choosing to anchor himself in a truth deeper than circumstance, in the unshakable center that remains when everything else falls apart. After the shipwreck, Anna gave birth to 3 more children, but tragedy struck again when their 4-year-old son died of scarlet fever. Yet they kept turning toward faith and the inner strength that carried them. And when the hymn was first published in 1876, it resonated immediately because it named something universal. Life brings both gentle seasons and seasons that break us open. And I think we know collectively which one we're in now. And even when we are overcome, it is well with our souls. Now, I'm not going to go into the other stanzas of the hymn because they really don't resonate with our unity teachings. But this first verse, the affirmation of inner peace in the midst of outer chaos, that is something we can absolutely embrace. And it reminds us that God is present in every storm. Our wholeness is intact no matter what we lose. Suffering is temporary. Spiritual truth endures. Peace comes not from control, but from surrender to the presence within us. Peace is not the absence of conflict. It is the presence of the Christ consciousness at the center of our being. So how, beloveds, do we affirm it is well with my soul when life seems anything but well? Well, first of all, we allow ourselves to feel, and that's why I created the service the way we did. We don't want to bypass these emotions. I'm good, how are you? We're grieving. I said to myself, I will not say to anyone, how are you today? Because that invites a superficial response. I'm fine. We automatically do that, don't we? So we let our feelings guide us to the places within us that need healing. Because grief is not spiritual failure. It's a natural human response to loss. And healing begins when we stop running from the grief and we allow it to move through us. Second, saying it is well is an affirmation. It's not a denial. It's choosing to root ourselves in the deeper truth of who we are, not the temporary conditions around us. And third, it is a practice of gratitude, not the everything is great kind of gratitude, but the grounded, spiritual kind. We end our prayer for protection with, and all is well, and we are grateful. And we might change that. In fact, we are. You'll see today. With my soul. And it is well with my soul. To remind us that well-being is our spiritual identity and not our circumstances. So this saying it is well with my soul, it's not a magical spell. But as our thoughts and our words have power, it's a way of shifting our awareness from fear to faith, from chaos to clarity, from the outer storm to the inner sanctuary, to the truth that absolutely nothing can separate us from the presence and love of God. And this idea that peace can rise even in the midst of heartbreak isn't unique to Horatio Spafford. Because centuries earlier, Julian of Norwich was saying something similar. And you may remember I've talked about Julian of Norwich before. She lived in a world that was shaken by plague and political unrest. She lived in the 14th century, and there was a lot of religious fear. And she chose a life of solitude, living in a small room attached to a church in Norwich, England. And in 1373, during a severe illness, she experienced a series of visions of Christ's love and received a message that has echoed across the centuries. All shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of thing shall be well. She was living in a very challenging time, but she was not denying the pain around her. She was affirming the deeper spiritual truth that lies beneath it. And her message, well, it was radical for the time. In an age that was really focused on sin and judgment, which some of us would like to return to right now, but we are not, Julian spoke of God's boundless compassion. She trusted with her whole being that love would have the final word. And both Julian's and Horatio Spafford's words are declarations of inner truth, spoken into outer chaos. When we weave in our unity teachings, we get a powerful reminder. Peace doesn't depend on circumstances. Peace comes from remembering the divine presence within and around us. Now, all of this came together for me sometime, actually a couple of weeks before I started writing this message. I was listening to NPR recently, and I heard a review of a film called H is for Hawk. It's starring Claire Foy. Remember Claire Foy from The Crown? Some of you, she played the young Queen Elizabeth. And Brendan Gleeson. I love Claire Foy. But a movie about a hawk, well, that's not usually on my list because I confess I'm ornithophobic. I actually do have a fear of birds, except like little small birds. They genuinely scare me, and some make light of this. Some laugh of it, some belittle me for it, which is unfortunate because it is a real fear, and I admit it. And I do my best to give birds plenty of space and wish them well from a safe, non-flapping distance. So choosing to watch a film centered on a hawk, definitely outside of my comfort zone. But the review caught my attention because it's a story about grief, and my pastoral heart listened for more. Then the reviewer quoted Julian of Norwich and the very phrase that we just now were discussing. All shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. And so now I have to watch the movie. I haven't watched it yet, but I will. And it's based on a memoir, and the film shows a grieving woman who becomes fixated on training a wild hawk after her father's sudden death. And the grieving woman's relationship with the hawk becomes a metaphor for trying to control the uncontrollable, trying to find connection in the midst of loss. Julian of Norwich's words become a touchstone for her, a reminder that even when life feels wild and unmanageable, there is a deeper current at work. And as I listen to that NPR interview, I find myself thinking of the times that I've tried to make sense of loss. The times I've reached for peace, even when I couldn't see the path back to it. And I realize that we all have those moments. Moments when we need someone or something to whisper, all shall be well, long before we believe it. So how do we live this? How do we take Spafford's courage, Julian's wisdom, and our unity teachings and actually use them in the middle of our very real human lives, in the middle of America in 2026? Well, here are a few simple practices that can help. Peace in the present. When you feel overwhelmed, pause for 10 seconds. Breathe deeply and affirm, and let's do this together. The peace of God fills me now. And this helps guide us back to center. Lean into the prayer for protection. This is one of unity's greatest gifts. And try adding the line, all is well with my soul and I am grateful. Not as denial, but as a reminder of the truth beneath the noise. Honor your emotions. Because spiritual maturity isn't about staying calm all the time. If it was, I would be in diapers. I probably wouldn't even be in diapers. I'd probably still be in my mummy's belly. Beyond that, I'd probably be in the great beyond. No, That's not true, because we probably come into this earth and we are so beautiful as we come in, and then we remember why we're here. This is a time for us to remember why we're here. But anyway, spiritual maturity is about letting ourselves feel what's real, about journaling, crying, about talking to someone that you trust, about reaching out to others, about hugging someone deeply. And trust those emotions, because they're part of the process. And let Julian's wisdom steady you. When fear or despair starts to rise, say Julian's words, "All shall be well." Not because everything is fixed, because it certainly isn't, but because Spirit is at work in ways we can't see yet. To say it is well with my soul in a chaotic world is not wishful thinking. It's a spiritual stance. It is choosing to remember that peace is not the absence of storms. Peace is the presence of God within the storm. Beloveds, the world may not calm down anytime soon, but we can cultivate a soul that stays steady and remember who we are, even when everything around us feels uncertain. And we can declare with courage, with faith, and with a quiet inner knowing, it is well with my soul. Let's say that together. It is well with my soul. I invite you to put your hand on your heart. And let's affirm this together. I am a beloved child of God, here to be an ambassador of good. Let's say it again. I am a beloved child of God, here to be an ambassador of good. One more time. I am a beloved child of God, here to be an ambassador of good. And I'm just going to do a prayer right now. Divine Spirit, guide each and every person here today and each and every person watching later. What is theirs to do at this time? May our voice be heard. May we speak up. May we remember oneness. May we join in the voices that are gaining courage and speaking up. And may we be reminded always that we are ambassadors of good, that we are here. We are here to be that. We know it is well with our soul, and we are so very grateful for that knowingness. Guide us, Divine Spirit, at this time. Guide each and every person here. Guide each and every person sitting in churches across the country right now. Thank you, God, for those who have been speaking up so loudly. And may there be peace. May there be peace in the speaking up, but may we always remember that one of the unity principles is action. Thank you, Divine Spirit. And so it is. And so it is time for our sharing of our gifts. So we say together, I am a joyful sharer of my good. I remember that as I give, I receive, and that God is my source. Thank you. Oh, Divine Spirit, we are so grateful for each and every person that is sharing. Can we go to the QR code? We are so very grateful for each and every person who is giving and for the gifts that they share to support our Unity of Tempe community. We are so very grateful. This is why we're here, to support one another, to love one another in the joyful times that we have and in the times when our hearts are breaking. We gather our strength together so that we can be that light in the world and we can make a difference. And so we are grateful, grateful, grateful. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. We bless the giver. We bless the receiver. We bless the stewardship of their use. Thank you, God. We are so grateful that in our tithing, as we receive our tithes, Unity of Tempe also tithes, and we tithe to those places where we absolutely see a need. Thank you, God. We bless these gifts, and so it is. Thank you, John. Karen. And I just want to thank you again so much for supporting Unity of Tempe. Our Zoom prayer and connection call is on Thursdays at 9:30 a.m. We'd love to have you join us. And we have our Centering in Prayer workshop coming up. Couldn't be coming at a more perfect time, right? Next Sunday, right after service. So, well, probably a little bit after service. So greet each other. Feel free to bring a snack if you would like, or lunch with you. And beloved Sharon will be leading this. And yes, our prayer chaplain. So come be a part of this. It's very needed. And then we have this amazing energy codes workshop coming up in just a couple of weeks afterwards. We've got a Super Bowl break, and then we got that coming up. So come be to that and learn all about energy and how we can shift that. And again, bring a lunch with you. Both of these workshops are offered free. If you really want to give a love offering, you could just give a little into the Unity's collection. But they're offered free, completely free to you, a gift from these amazing facilitators. So thank you. Thank you. Yes. Brilliant. Yes. So there's going to be some information that's going to be given out. So yes, there's a sign-up sheet. So be sure to see Martha, or just go directly to the sign-up sheet and sign up for that. There isn't a sign-up sheet for the prayer. Just come and be with us on the prayer, Centering in Prayer. Oh, let's see. We have a little change here. And I'll tell you why. I changed this because I know some people have said, I'm feeling a little bit of disconnect when I say all is well and we are grateful right now. And you know what? I'm feeling it too. And if your minister's feeling it, we're all one. And if any one person is feeling it. So I changed it. And I think this fits us right now, who we are. Because this actually isn't this is not actually part of the prayer for protection. This is the prayer for protection. But I think this is a really great add-on. What do you think? Does it feel 2026-ish? Yeah. All right. We're going to stick with this. All right. Let's say it together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. It is well with my soul, and I am grateful. That feels more like it can land for me right now. Beloveds online, may your week... What do we want to say to our beloveds online? What do we want to wish for them on their week? Peace. Truth, love, and peace. I love it. Truth, love, and peace. Oh, and see you in person next week. Get on a plane, come be with us. We love you. We send you our love. We send you our blessings, and we are with you in spirit.